I'm Des Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. And this week we are coming to you from Hamilton. Joining me are stand-up Susie McCabe, and with her it's best-selling author Christopher Brookmyre, and facing them comedian Athena Kugbleno, and joining her is award-winning stand-up Ray Bradshaw. In the news this week, Fawlty Towers has been named the greatest British sitcom of all time. The long-running farce of upper-class comedy characters and their interaction with foreigners narrowly beat Brexit into second place. And a great-gran of 109 reckons that the secret to a long life is a bowl of porridge. In other news, Buckingham Palace has denied rumours that Prince Charles has been spotted this week burning hundreds of boxes of Quaker Oats. Let's crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess the two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. Now, Susie and Chris, can you tell me the two stories mixed together here?
EU leaders will hold an emergency
increase in alcohol
to consider Theresa May's request for a delay to Brexit. The Prime Minister
spent £1.14 billion on alcoholic drinks
in Brussels this evening.
Any clues to the first one, Susie McCabe?
It's Brexit. There's no other story.
You're absolutely right. European Union leaders have granted the UK a 6-month extension to Brexit. Theresa May was glad it'll be sorted before the 5th of November in case the British public take the Guy Fawkes celebrations a wee bit too literally.
At certain points, I felt sorry for Theresa May. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it has become that I've went, Tory Prime Minister, that's a shame. There's a sentence I never thought I would say.
Anybody that reckons an extension is something that's going to bring an end to this has obviously never had builders in.
In 50 years' time, this is going to be a subject in schools. You'll be taking maths, English and Brexit, and then it'll just go on from then.
I feel sorry for the people who voted Brexit the most, because some of them would have changed their minds, and I think we've all changed our minds about various things. Like, I once dumped somebody, and I thought, this is great, and then I realised he had the Sky password.
The profile of Jacob Rees-Mogg is baffling to me. A guy who keeps quoting Latin, because that way you'll think, because he's an expensive education, you won't realise how stupid most of the things are that he says. So, I mean, this is a guy that still has never had a sniff of a cabinet post. And we're talking about a cabinet that's got Chris Grayling and Liz Truss in it. I mean, that's got to be a bit like, you know, asking for a game of five-a-sides, but getting told, no, we've already made up the numbers with an empty jacket and a traffic cone.
He's got 6 kids.
No.
Think about that. 6 times.
Yeah.
2.
Just.
Theresa May held last-minute diplomatic Brexit talks with the leaders of Germany and France on Tuesday. Neither seemed impressed with her gift of £200 worth of Debenhams gift vouchers. Yes, the Brexit extension is right, Susie and Chris, a point for that one. But what was the other story we were after? Let's hear that clip again.
EU leaders will hold an emergency
increase in alcohol
to consider Theresa May's request for a delay to Brexit. The Prime Minister
spent £1.14 billion on alcoholic drinks
in Brussels this evening.
I think it's that the SNP's policy on minimum pricing of alcohol has miraculously not solved Scotland's alcohol problems inside 6 months.
The sound of surprise there. Yes, it is the story that Scots have actually bought more alcohol since minimum pricing laws came into force. It makes you proud to be Scottish, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Tougher rules on low-priced drinks came into force last May. One explanation is that various events led to people drinking more last year, such as the heatwave, the World Cup and the news.
I just thought it was really funny that they said, oh, well, We had a royal wedding, so you know how the Scots love a royal wedding?
What is it then about the Scottish psyche that everything we do seems to be associated with booze? Every celebration, every event that's marked, booze goes hand in hand with it.
Do you know, I think part of the problem is culturally that we associate booze with good times, so we then drink thinking that will bring on good times. And so maybe we should rewrite the alcohol laws with regards to football matches, because if we let us drink whilst watching Scotland, we'll cease to associate alcohol with good times.
By the way, if you are watching this wondering how much booze you should be drinking, the maximum recommended weekly intake of alcohol is 14 units, or as it's called in Scotland, a chaser. Ray, how do we deal with it then? We obviously do drink too much. What can we do about it?
Maybe up the amount of units we're meant to drink a week. I think maybe the best thing is to get Jacob Rees-Mogg and Theresa May talking about how cool alcohol is. And then I think 80% of Scotland will be teetotal by midnight.
What's good about the minimum pricing thing is that it hasn't stopped people drinking, but it's stopped people drinking rubbish alcohol, right? So just price other things that people are doing that they shouldn't be doing, like put a tax on men in cardigans, you know, skinny jeans.
I think culturally, a lot of the Europeans don't have the same problem with alcohol because they sort of introduce their kids to it at an early age. And we kind of tried that in my school, as far as I remember. But just that the teachers weren't party to this. It was more a unilateral policy that we had.
Yes, the attempt to change the perception of Scots stereotypes by increasing the price of alcohol has worked a treat. The price has gone up. We're buying more, so at least now nobody can say that we're tight-fisted. There you go. Well done, Susie and Christopher. That was the mash-up of the latest stumbling Brexit negotiations and a year on from the introduction of minimum pricing for alcohol. So, Athena and Ray, 2 stories and 1 clip for you. What do you make of this?
Scotland's High Street
now has a resident wolf population. They say a female has settled
in all 8 areas included in the research,
and breeding
at a rate of more than 5 a week.
Could be imminent.
This is about the so-called death of the high street and that all the shops are closing down.
It is happening, and it's the right answer. Yes, shops in Scotland's high streets are closing at a rate of more than 5 a week. The number of stores in 8 Scottish cities and towns fell by 119 in 2018. This, of course, links in with the big news story of the week that Debenhams has sadly fallen into administration, much to the dismay of many high street shoppers who are now deeply worried about where they can go to use the toilets for free when they're out. Ray, you're nodding away. Is it a sad time for the high street?
It is a sad time for the high street, but it's also kind of inevitable when you can do so much online shopping at home. Like, if I went in to, say, Debenhams, for example, in my pants with crumbs on me, I'd get judged. Whereas if I do that online, no one bats an eyelid.
See the other side of it, you know, like, you're like, obviously we're in Hamilton, so you have a local high street, and people go, that high street, do you know that's on that high street? Pubs, bookmakers, takeaway shops, and sunbeds. And then some cafes will come in and some nice restaurants, and they go, oh, they're nice, very expensive. Gentrified that high street.
We're never happy, are we?
No, never.
So how would you then zhuzh it up then? If you could make a difference to it, how would you change the high street and try and reinvent it?
I'd bring back CNA.
Oh,
Bring back one.
You have one fan
one person
of a scratchy jumper in the audience today. Irritating. So you think CNA is what maybe led to the start of this?
Yeah, because CNA basically invented the idea of wearing ski wear, but like on a Saturday, you know, in the park, in June, and I missed that personally.
Yeah.
So bring back CNA.
The main thing is, I think a lot of people will get put off the high street if we could, and get back to it, if we banned charity muggers.
Oh, right, okay.
See the amount of times you walk down the high street, someone stops you, you go, nah, I'm going home, I can't deal with this. So I think we should, or make it the law where you get to go up, if you see one of those people in the street, you get to go up to them and go, hi, what's your name and your bank details? And then kind of like make a more level playing field.
Yeah. Best way to get through a town high street, just carry your own clipboard. Nobody bothers you. Any thoughts on this, Chris?
I was thinking of how you would revitalise the shopping in the centre of Paisley. And I decided a limited tactical nuclear strike. Because just to undo what was done there in the 1960s must be the only town in the world where there's a beautiful river flowing through and they say, no, let's concrete over the top of that.
Favourite thing about the whole story was that when I read the Times headline was Ashley furious at Debenhams' defeat, and I was like, man, Newcastle are so bad now, man. I mean, Debenhams away is a hard trip to go. Do you know what I mean?
The slow death of the high street is correct. Athena and Ray, you get a point for that one. Second story, any thoughts, Athena?
This could be the reintroduction of wolves to the Netherlands. Man-eating wolves. Wolves that kill people.
Yeah, a wee happy story there for you this week. Yes, it's the news that according to ecologists, the Netherlands has its first resident wolf population for 140 years. This has reignited suggestions that Scotland should reintroduce wolves into our woodlands. You think that's a good idea, Athena?
It's all a bit ridiculous. I was reading about it, and there's an ecologist who says they found out that the wolves are breeding because they looked at the wolf drop-ins, and apparently the drop-ins are just like Tinder. And I don't think this guy is... I don't think this guy's been on Tinder. I don't think he appreciates it has nothing to do with drop-ins. But apparently you can look at the wolf drop-ins and you can tell whether the wolf was male or female. You can find out about whether they've got a good sense of humour.
I'll remember that in my next date. It's going so well. Do you mind if I take a look at your jobby? Wow, Sagittarius. So it seems like they're coming back to the Netherlands. Could it be, Ray, that we are going to have wolves reintroduced to Scotland, maybe in the Highlands?
I can't believe that wolves are in the EU and we are not. Like, do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I was a bit concerned that I was actually walking through a park and there was some young... They were teenagers, right? And an owl came out the woods and flew over the owl. The owl flew over them and just kept going. And this guy, who must have been about 16, 17, turned round to his mates and went, "Did anybody see that owl? I didn't think they existed." I thought that was just a creature from Harry Potter. So please do not put wolves near these children.
I think the crucial word here is reintroduced, you know, on the grounds that they've been here before. But if we just wind it all the way back to Pangaea, when Scotland was part of Pangaea, that opens the door. We can have anything from there on. We can have elephants technically being reintroduced.
Yes.
I'm in. I'm in.
I
am so... See, if I can go through George Square on an elephant, I have...
I'm in. I want to see that. It's hope now that the wolf has been confirmed living in the wilds of the Netherlands. The rest of the gladiators may one day be found alive and well too. Another point for you, Athena and Ray. That was the mashup of the decline of Scotland's high street stores and the proposed plan to bring wolves back to our woodlands. And at the end of that round, the teams are all square. I'll play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. Athena and Ray, you're up first this time. Who's this?
To be able to stand on a stage and feel that very visceral connection with human beings and that thing that only music can do with other humans, there's nothing like it.
Any thoughts on who that voice may belong to?
Yeah, this is Madonna, who is going to be performing at the Eurovision Song Contest in Israel.
Well, is it Madonna? Let's see if you're right. It is the right answer, yes. So Madonna in the news this week then.
I just hope they accidentally book her Scottish tribute act by accident and then they get to Eurovision and Mad Donna's there.
This is about Madonna, who's set to play 2 songs during the interval of the Eurovision Song Contest in Israel next month. The pop icon will reach more than 180 million viewers on the 18th of May when she takes to the stage in Tel Aviv. Athena, are you a Madonna fan?
I don't mind Madonna. I appreciate her. She's an ally to lots of communities, and she's been around for a long time. I think the real issue is that I don't think she knew what she was agreeing to. I think she just thought the Gaza Strip was a club.
What about you, Susie? Are you a Madonna fan? Are you surprised she's at Eurovision?
Did you just ask a homosexual if I'm a Madonna? I'm not into the Eurovision. I know it's kind of a bit of a dichotomy there, but I'm not into it. I would have voted for Brexit if I thought we could have got out of Eurovision, to be honest.
Is Eurovision the place you'd expect Madonna to pop up? Chris Brookmeyer?
When I was growing up, Eurovision was always the epitome of cheesy and tacky, and I've realised that in recent years it seems to become a wee bit more cool. So I'm guessing they were concerned about their brand recognition, and they figured they have to get back to the cheesy and tacky, and that's maybe... They thought, well, we'll book Madonna, and that should...
Chris, careful now, Susie's giving you that sideways glance. So...
In the community.
Was it the Brits she did a few years ago?
Fell
Took
off.
that tumble. It was the only time we've been entertained by Steps at a music gig.
I think also if we're going to stay in the EU for this part, because we were meant to be out by then, what we should do is part of Theresa May's, if we can finally get her deal through, part of the deal should be she needs to be our entry at Eurovision. Like, get her to go up and sing Strong and Stable or Brexit Means Brexit or something like that. Like, if we're going to get minus 12 points, we might as well do it in style.
Hey, listen, she's got the dance off, doesn't she? Could be a winner. Yes, 2 points, Athena and Ray. That was, of course, the Queen of Pop, Madonna. Right, Susie and Chris, it's your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
My strength, was well down, and that took a while to get up and trying to combine, relearning weights, relearning how to row, and relearning how to study.
That is James Cracknell.
James Cracknell. Is it James Cracknell? Yes, it certainly is. Why are we talking about James Cracknell this week?
It's a question I've asked myself all week, Des, to be honest with you. I still don't have the answer. Twice Olympian gold medalist, 6 times world champion, competed in a boat race with people half his age. What a hero.
Yes, former Olympic rower James Cracknell has become the oldest ever boat race winner after the 46-year-old's Cambridge team defeated Oxford in the famous contest. Overall, though, we really should congratulate Oxford and Cambridge. Year after year, those 2 teams always make the final of that boat race. Remarkable. That's consistency, by the way.
People are awful down on the boat race. We always sort of say it's a very middle class, it's very Oxbridge, obviously. I think it's a celebration. People get a lot of pleasure from it, and I actually think we should take it more nationally. It shouldn't just be on the Thames. We should have the Oxford versus Cambridge boat race on the Spey. After we have reintroduced crocodiles and alligators and box jellyfish in case any of them make it to the shore.
Big fan of the boat race there, Chris. Making it more interesting. What about you, Athena? This is James Cracknell, obviously been in the boat race. Is it a bit of a sham that somebody at 46 is in it? Should you not be making way for younger talent coming through?
Yeah, it's a bit of a... I think it's a midlife crisis. What's he going to do next? I think someone needs to stop him now.
You think so? Because he'll just keep going and trying to do more things?
He'll keep going. He'll try and play for England in the football team. You might qualify for Scotland. You might find some grandfather somewhere.
I would take him. I'd take him.
I think, to be fair, at 46 in Scotland, he is a grandfather. Susie, what about it? Obviously, James Cracknell, gold medalist. Any of your skills that you think you could win a gold medal for?
Without doubt, eating chicken wings. Ray Bradshaw will testify to this. Yeah. Me and Ray Bradshaw lived together for 5 weeks, and I can strip a chicken wing by looking at it.
Also, literally everything you said there made it sound like we were in prison together.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, James Cracknell is a rower and a cyclist. Not only is he now the oldest ever person to win the boat race, it's the first time the race has been won in a pedalo. Well done. James Cracknell is the right answer. 2 points go to Susie and Chris. opinions. So for this round, we've gone out and found some people to comment on the news. Susie and Chris, for your team, we spoke to local kilt makers Robert and Stacey. What story do you think that they're talking about here?
I've got a cast iron stomach, so I'm okay. I might cut the mould off cheese, but I'm not sure about bread.
My mum's really bad with stuff, like once it's opened, like the next day she would go back to it and she's like, no, I can't eat that anymore.
If it tastes good, eat it. Don't wait too long.
Any thoughts as to the story that they're talking about, Chris?
It's to do with food wastage and specifically eggs that we're throwing away, reckon about £139 million worth of eggs, which obviously is money we could have been spending on alcohol.
It's bang on, yes. According to research, Britons are throwing away 720 million eggs every year. Or to use the correct terminology, that's 60 million dozen. The scale of waste has been blamed. There's somebody sitting at home going, he's right. The scale of waste has been blamed on overcautious consumers, relying on best before dates to decide if the eggs are fresh enough to eat. Chris, it does seem that way, that we're a slave to the best before dates and we're wasting a lot of good food.
I think it's that a lot of us remember the salmonella scare. So we see an egg, we think about Edwina Curry, and then we remember that she had sex with John Major. And then we're not hungry anymore, and egg goes back in the fridge.
Anyway, so is this our thing now? It seems in modern society that we see a best before date or a sell-by date and we stick to it. Maybe back in the day, we'd have been a bit more loose with that.
Yeah, so, like the guy was saying about cutting mould off of cheese. Some people call it mould. My mother calls it penicillin. So... Also, who can afford to throw away eggs? Have you seen the price of eggs? Have you seen them? £2 for 6 wee tiny eggs.
Why did an old woman just take over your body?
But I understand there's a test you can do, and we've forgotten about this test. So if you want to test your eggs, you put them in a bowl of water. If they sink, you can eat them. And if they rise, you can throw them at racists. So, you know... and that is not a waste, guys. So, yeah, get on with it.
Is it a general trend, though, that in this day and age, 2019, are we just now too picky about our food?
Well, we argue about it in our house, and that my wife believes that the minute you take something out of the fridge, it immediately starts turning to poison, and you've got about 20 minutes before that's happened. Whereas I'm more of that philosophy that basically, if it's not hairy, you can probably eat it, and if it is hairy, you might want to get another minute in the microwave.
Best before dates are the right answer, and 2 points go to Susie and Chris. Now, Athena and Ray, here's local Hamilton motorcycle shop staff David and John. What are they talking about here?
I have watched every episode, some more than once.
The golden time for television for me was when I was growing up in the 80s. You had Knight Rider, A-Team, Automan, all those kind of things.
I don't see myself crying over it.
Dragons, come on. You've got to have dragons.
Can somebody just check on Davy? There was a story that is featured somewhere in the news this week. Any ideas?
This story is Game of Thrones new series coming... Is it this weekend, this Saturday, this Sunday?
Absolutely, yes. Epic fantasy drama Game of Thrones returns to screens this weekend for its 8th and final season. One of its stars, Gwendolyn Christie, promised that viewers will enjoy the bigger-than-ever-before episodes. Christie added that fans may need to seek therapy after the show's dramatic ending. Are you excited then for the end of Game of Thrones, Ray?
No! I've
never watched it?
Never seen any of it. Someone explained to me what it's like, and they were saying it's got dragons, it's mystical, there's swords, and I was like, that's Shrek.
Sunday night, early hours on Monday morning, if you're watching it live. Athena, will you be one of those?
No, I've not seen a second of it. But I do watch BBC Parliament, and it's similar.
Yeah. It might well be. Chris, are you a Game of Thrones fan?
I've seen a bit of it, a couple of seasons, but it's one of those things I don't see much because I don't have Sky. And I've always found that the problem, that you think, I wouldn't mind watching that, so can I just get one channel? But no, that's not how Sky works. It's like if you want to go down to the supermarket and you want a potato, so no, we'll give you the vegetable package for £48.
Susie, are you a fan of Game of Thrones?
I am.
I thought...
I am, right.
Thank goodness, because it's the most popular TV show in the world, and I couldn't find a single person who's watched it.
I like it. I think it's quite interesting when you watch politics and you kind of look at politicians and you're going, Jeremy Hunt, he's a Lannister.
I tried to catch up and went to buy the DVD box set of Game of Thrones recently, but was shocked by all the violence and sex that I encountered, and I'm definitely not going to cash converters in Motherwell again. The return of Game of Thrones is the right answer. 2 points go to Athena and Ray. Time now for our final quick-fire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I'll read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
What on earth's happening with Brexit?
That was Theresa May. Somebody want to have a word with her? Right, teams, let's go. Fingers and buzzers. 1 in 6 Scots has what?
Alcohol-related debt.
The voice of experience there, Susie. 1 in 6 Scots has what?
Spent their entire holiday avoiding a family from Wishaw that they met the first day. All been there.
1 in 6 Scots has what?
A better chance of a cabinet post than Jacob Rees-Mogg.
The answer is 1 in 6 Scots has allergies. There you go. And there's somebody coughing absolutely on cue. Couldn't make it up.
What on earth's happening with Brexit?
And there goes the klaxon Theresa has made, which means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Susie McCabe and Christopher Brookmeyer. To Athena Cook-Glenn and Ray Bradshaw. Next week, we'll be coming to you from Falkirk, but in the meantime, we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news just in. Birmingham is to be the venue for the world's biggest Primark store, featuring water fountains, charging points, recycling areas, and a children's craft area where they can have a go at mass-producing their own low-cost outfits. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye.
Stay with us here as the lads don't miss the posts with their opinions and a view from the terrace next here on BBC Scotland.